everybody, welcome to Keyboard Skills Pro, and here we go with part 2 of a fun video exploring the circle of fifths, which is this rather cool diagram here. Now for this video I'm going to put a graphic up here. Let's do that now. Let's do some magical. There we go, a bit of pantomime there. And we're going to show you how to use the circle of fifths to create your own introductions to songs. The most important thing about a song, somebody once said, is the introduction. And in fact there are some songs, I'm going to get sued, let's not play too much of that, that have an intro that's probably more famous than the song itself. But to get these introductions to work, you have to understand how to read the circle of fifths. So that's what we're going to do in this video. By the way, if you haven't already watched the introduction video to the circle of fifths, you can find that now in the playlist. But for now, let's head on and play some introduction. So what was I playing at the beginning there? Now you might recognise that. My baby don't wait for me. Da 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 da. Well, Nina Simone did it better. Anyway. So let's take a look at the circle of fifths. So first of all, let's take the key of C major. Why do we start in the key of C every time somebody asks me? They said, well, key of C is the one that kind of everybody knows. It's important, I think, with these lessons that we allow people to access this information from the earliest stages of playing a musical instrument as possible. But we're also going to show you some ideas in different keys as well. So at the beginning there, I had this rather cool intro. Now, that introduction has got different things going on, but let's break it down and show you how that comes from the circle of fifths. So if you look at the top of the circle of fifths, you will see the C note. We then, to the either side of it, we've got the F and the G. Now those three chords are what we call the primary chords, or the primary triads. They're a bit like primary chords in art. They're very fundamentally important to the basic structure of the music. So if we fix our key note as C, what we then do is we go above a fifth, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, we've got the G, and then from C, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, we've got the F. So we've got the tonic, the dominant, and the subdominant. Okay, and the tonic is number 1, the subdominant is actually the 4th note of the scale, but we're just going to pop it down here for the moment, and the 5th, of course, is the G. So the C chord, and the F chord and the G chord are the 3 primary chords of the key of C. So how would you use those to make an introduction? Well, generally what we do is we tend to start with the key chord. Okay, so the key chord in this case is the chord of C major, because we're in the key of C major. So I'll do a bar of C major, look. And then I'll go to F, 4, and then I'll go back to 1, and then 5. Didn't that sound great? What a lovely introduction. 1, 4, 1, 5. Okay, so that's a great introduction, very, very useful. But you may remember that in the basic video we talked about the inner circle. And the inner circle contains the minors, the 2nd, the 3rd, and the 6th notes. In this case, D is number 2, E is 3, and A is 6. And those are the notes from the C scale. Now, if you're watching this video and going, hang on, I'm not quite with it, I don't understand, you need to go back and watch the first video in this playlist. Okay, it's called Basics on the Circle of Fifths, and you'll find it right here on the channel. So what if I decided to insert one of these chords? So for example, we could do 1, 6, 4, and 5. Now that's a very common introduction. So why are we using these numbers? Well, we use numbers rather than specific letters to say this is actually the building block shape of this introduction. So if I play the C note, I'm saying I'm going to start on my key note, number 1, the tonic. Then I'm going to go to 6. And that's going to be a minor chord, because that's what that is in a major key. Number 6 produces a minor chord. 4 is F major, so number 4, and the 5th of C is, of course, the G chord. So that's the basic note construction. 1, 6, 4, 5. So what I now do is I place the chords from the key with their numbers. So C is 1, 6 is A minor, 4 is F, and 5 is G. Now let me play that a little bit more rhythmically and you'll probably recognise that. With the right notes. Do you get the idea? Okay, so you can remember that. 1, 6, 4, 5. By the way, gang, if you haven't already hit the subscribe button, please do so now. Ding the Liberty button, give us a thumbs up as well. Maybe share the video on some Facebook groups or TikTok, or share it with your friends if they're learning keyboard or organ or piano. They might want to learn a little bit more about the circular fifth. So thanks so much for doing that. So what if I then said, okay, well, what about 1, 2, 6, 5. Let's try that. So now you see you can start to mix them into different patterns. So we'll start with 1, and then 2, and then 6, and then 5. So that could be maybe so that sounds a little different, doesn't it? But can you see the most important thing is that at the beginning of the introduction and the end of the introduction, we use the tonic chord first and then the fifth, the dominant, last. And that's important because what that does is that it leads us then into the song. Now, I know there's probably some of you who already know these introductions, maybe watching this and go, well, yeah, you don't always have to start on the tonic. And that's very true. And we'll talk about different introductions in a more advanced video later on. So that's fine if you're in the key of C major, but what if you're not in the key of C major? And I remember as a kid, for those of you who don't know, I'm an organist and I play a lot of electronic organs and theatre organs and pipe organs. I do lots of things in the organ keyboard world. And I remember listening to some of the organists that I admired as a kid, and I'd hear these big and I would maybe watch a video performance as before YouTube, so an actual video cassette, or maybe take it off a CD or a tape and try and copy them. But then the problem was, if it was in C, I'd then have to go into E flat, and of course it doesn't work, does it? Because they're different keys. So what if I wanted to play that earlier introduction that we did, 1, 6, 2, 5. What if I wanted to play that in a different key? So how does it work? Well, we use, strangely enough, the circle of fifths. So what you do is you look at your circle and you go round the circle, you look around it and you find on the outer circle your new key note. Let's take the tone below the key of C, B flat. There we go, B flat major. So I fix now B flat as my key note. You know when musicians say, let's do you know, My Way, Frank Sinatra's My Way. Let's do Bette Midler's The Rose. Let's do I don't know, Metallica, Sandman, and they all shout out, what key are we going to do? What key are we in, Fred? G. Yeah, all right, Joe. Yeah, G major. And everybody goes, and everyone in the audience going, they know what they're talking about. And so what we mean is by the key, it basically means out of the 12 keys on the piano, which one of these do we use as home? So in the key of C, it's C. So if you're in B flat, you say, can you drop it a tone? And that's gone to B flat. So I look on B flat, find B flat on my circle of fifths, and I fix that in my head as my home sound. So that's the tonic. Number 1 is B flat. But then either side, look, you've got E flat and F, and they're your other 2 majors. So you've got B flat major, E flat major, and F major. So if we were to do the very first introduction that we did at the beginning of this video, 1, 4, 1, 5, was it 1, 4, 1, 5? I think it was. So I would now say to myself, okay, well it was C, F, C, G. So how do I make that play in the key of B flat? Well, I just basically use the numbers. 1, 4, 1, 5. So I play 1 of B flat, 4 is E flat, back to 1, and then 5. And then you can play the same pattern, and you get the same intro. But now it leads into your new song. Okay. What about a sharp key? Let's do A major. So A is now my key note, okay, key of A major. 1 is A, 4 is D, 5 is E. So I'm going to go A, D, A, E. And you can hear it's the same introduction. So providing that you play the same patterns and the same rhythms and to a certain extent the same inversions, basically that introduction is always going to sound the same. So that's how we do it, folks. We can use the circle of fifths to see the basic 3 major chords, the 3 minor chords, and don't forget there's that extra one, isn't there, number 7, which we use occasionally called the diminished, and that can get changed, and we'll talk about these changes another video. But again, let's go back to B flat. What if I wanted to put that minor sound into it? Well, I might go 1, 6, 2, 5. 1, 6, 2, 5. So again, B flat, look, is 1. 6 of the scale is G, so G minor. 2nd is C minor. And F is obviously the dominant. So when you actually move around the circle, if you sort of turn your head to the side and fix that new top position, because obviously the circle, actually I need to get this cut out, don't I, my circle, so I can like spin it round. Anyway, you can see the graphics on the screen. So now I could go 6, C minor 2, then F. Now do it in C, C, A, D, G, A flat. Okay, and then we've got B flat, minor. So I can do it in any of the 12 major keys. Isn't that clever? So that's how we use the circle of fifths to make introductions. There's no letters, just the numbers, which are the notes of the scale. Once you've got your number pattern worked out in the introduction that you like for your song, simply apply the letters from whichever key you're using, and you just take the scale and go, right, I need 1, 6, 4, 5, or 1, 4, 1, 5, and you lay the letters over the top of that skeleton frame. And let me tell you, you, after a little bit of practice of this, will be able to play your introduction in any major key, and the restrictions are gone, aren't they? Isn't that wonderful? Now, if you'd like to learn a little bit more, I've put these introductions and some other hints and tips in a bonus PDF, which you can get when you support my channel on patreon.com/Keyboard Skills Pro. Patreon's a kind of a musical tip jar for creators online, because obviously this lesson I've given you free of charge here on YouTube. So if you'd like to support me with the equipment and the software and so on and my time, do visit patreon.com/Keyboard Skills Pro. And there's loads of other bonus videos and bonus PDFs that go with lots of other lessons. So hit the subscribe button, folks. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you soon for another video exploring the circle of fifths, introductions, endings, hints and tips, extra chords. Going to be a great series. Thanks for watching. My name's Tom Horton, and thanks for watching Keyboard Skills Pro.